So I'm on a flight the other day from Kiev to Amsterdam, and the guy next to me is oblivious to people around him. First up, he's got this huge, oversized backpack that he probably should have checked.
Look at the size of that thing.
And he's swinging around, hitting people, not even knowing it. Now I get it, he's a big guy on a small plane, accidents happen. But when he puts his luggage away and he goes to take a seat, I'm amazed how rough he is with the seat in front of him. In fact, he just grabs it and he takes his seat and he pulls it back and lets go, and it pops. And there's this older woman there who's wondering what in the world is going on. Now the woman right next to her, in her 50s, I assume it was her daughter, just looks over and basically reassures her, lets her know that, hey, everything's okay. Now what happened next came this close to becoming one of those viral YouTube videos. You see, the guy gets up again and he grabs that seat in front of him and jerks it back and forth as he pulls himself up. So that woman's daughter, she ain't having none of this. She throws her hand back and smacks him. Now at this point, things could have gone crazy, but they didn't. First up, she only smacked him on the hand, and it was a relatively weak smack at that. Second, and perhaps the most amazing part, is the guy didn't even seem to notice.
I am inevitable.
All right, so that's my story of an almost fight between two babushkas and an overweight Russian tourist. I know, anticlimactic, right? Here's the deal. I've been traveling for 30 years, and this is the first time I've ever seen a passenger strike another. Gents, it's been in the news, and anyone in the airline industry will tell you that people are on edge. Seriously, if you've ever wanted to watch a live MMA fight a mile above the earth, simply fly economy United Airlines Oakland to Chicago. In today's video, gents, we're talking about modern travel etiquette, how to avoid getting into a fight on your next flight. Starting this video off, the best advice I can give you is to show up to your flight in the right state of mind. For me personally, I find that I am in the right state of mind when I have followed my routine starting the night before. The first part of my routine is I'm fully packed 24 hours before my flight. This coincides with checking in. If you're traveling with family, if you are traveling with more than one person, if you've got a lot of baggage, this is key, because what you don't want to be doing is thinking that somehow you're going to pack right before you leave. That never works out. Next up, I don't plan anything the night before except for a good night's sleep. Now I know some of you guys are going to disagree, and let me know if that's you down in the comments. You'd rather just stay up all night and party. More power to you. But if you are a professional, if you're someone that travels for work, if you're someone that travels with a family, I'll tell you, getting that 6 to 8 hours of sleep and then waking up refreshed for the airport is a lifesaver. So if I'm flying out early, especially in a city that isn't mine, I always give myself plenty of time for margin. So first up, an hour to get ready. I'm going to shower, I'm going to eat breakfast. I never want to show to the airport hungry, especially first thing in the morning. And when it comes to commuting. So Uber says it's going to take 30 minutes. Make sure to add 50% time for that. You never know. Maybe the Uber's not able to find you. Maybe your car breaks down. Tons of stories out there. You give yourself that extra, on a normal 30-minute trip, you give yourself 45 minutes. That 15 minutes could save you. Next, I arrive at the airport early, and this depends on the airport. You've got to understand the situation you're going into. International Chicago, I'm there 3 hours early. Flying domestic, CWA right here in Wisconsin, a small regional airport, I could be there 45 minutes early and it's going to be fine. Now today's video, gents, is sponsored by Friedrik. By far, they make the most beautiful carry-on luggage I have ever owned. Not only do they have beautiful luggage, but they've also got a wide variety of beautiful bags. We're talking weekend bags, messenger bags, backpacks, just beautiful pieces of luggage that make you look sharp, make you look professional whenever you're out there traveling the world. Now the carry-on is what I have right here, and this is in a dark gray polycarbonate suitcase. It's hard and lightweight, and it does an excellent job protecting your luggage while looking good. Personally, just in the last couple months, I have traveled with this bag to Austin, to Amsterdam, to Kiev, and I can tell you that it has held up beautifully. I've been able to check it in every single time, so it fits all regulations. Now the design is spot on. The telescopic handle right here is flush, but whenever I pull it out, boom, it works. And what I love is they've used really good material. So I look at the construction, I look at the durability. This is something, I've got kids, they're gonna throw this around, and this held up to all the, everything we threw at it. Let's look at the inside, because it's a work of art as well. First up, I love how roomy it is on the inside. You can fit all the luggage that you need. In fact, I was able to fit into this bag everything I needed for a 3-week trip to Ukraine. And I appreciated the fact that they had these pockets, they had all the dividers. It allowed me to basically keep my dirty clothes in one place, my clean clothes in another. And if you want to hook up an extra charger for your phone or other devices, guess what? They've got that built in as well. Now the lock here is a combination lock. It's TSA approved, and the wheels, Japanese Hinamoto. Basically that means they are silent, they are smooth. It's pleasure going through the airport and having your luggage just move with you effortlessly. And gents, if that's not enough, they got a personalization option. They've got a lifetime warranty, and they've got a 100-day trial. So how to get the best deal with Carl Friedrik? Gents, I've got it for you down in the description of today's video. That link right there. This is not going to be around forever. Use that link down in the description of today's video to get the best deal on the web. The next part of my routine, I always get a paper ticket. Yes, I could use my phone, and I have used my phone, but the thing about paper, it doesn't run low on battery. All right, so at this point, I got my paper ticket. I take my water bottle, then I finish the water in it. I put the empty water bottle in my bag, so I'm gonna fill it up once I'm inside the airport, and I immediately go to the bathroom before going through security. Now, why am I giving you all this information? No, I don't need you to copy my routine. You can, I think it's useful, but what I want to stress is that by having a routine, you can control everything that goes on before you start to engage with people at the airport, and to have your mindset set so that you are calm, so that things are in control. Seriously, gents, the vast majority of these airline incidents are when people are not thinking with a rational mind. Why? Because they're irritable, because they didn't eat, because they didn't get their coffee, because they're fed up. It's 1,000 little things. Something is prohibiting them from thinking clearly, from realizing, you know what, I'm going to let this slide. It isn't even worth engaging with this person. I'm going to move on. I'm going to get out of the way. No, instead, they decide to confront. They decide to push back. And that's what leads to, you ending up in the pokey all night. So picking up at the security line, what's the first way that you can show respect to your fellow travelers? By being prepared. Seriously, if you've traveled more than once, you know what's going to happen during airport security. You're going to have to take off all medals. Most likely, you're going to have to take your shoes off. You're going to take your jackets off. You're going to have to take your watch off. You're going to want to make sure that your computer, that your liquids are removed from your bags. You can actually pack things in a way so that it's easy to pull out that laptop, so that it's easy for you to slip those shoes off because you were smart and you wore slip-ons. As a guy with 4 kids, I'm proud actually when we go through security. I just clap my hands and my kids know exactly what to do. Everything gets lined up. They're quick. They help each other. Yes, it's a miracle to behold. Seriously though, my kids are pretty good. My wife's prepped them, and I think because other people are watching, they are on their best behavior. Next up, you've made it through security. Now get out of people's way. I understand that you want to wait for your bag, but those bags right there are not yours that are coming out immediately. Let other people get around you to get their stuff. It is something that you can step back, just wait your turn. It is something that, yes, you getting up there in the front does not make it any faster or easier. Next up, let's talk about smell. So I'm assuming here that you showered and that you cleaned up, you are wearing clean clothes before you go on a flight. This, yes, is common sense and should be common etiquette. You want to treat people with respect by not overpowering them with body odor. But what about fragrance? What about smell? Again, here's where I think you should definitely be discovered, not announced. I'm not saying that you can't wear any. 1, 2 sprays to the chest area, maybe 1 on each arm is perfectly fine, especially if you're layering with clothing over. But if it's a fragrance that's really overpowering, be careful. What you want to be careful of though is going into the duty free, and I'm guilty of this, trying out a new fragrance. Wow, that's a little bit stronger than what I thought it would be. So don't go in there and just start spraying on things immediately because you don't want to get on that plane and just choke people out. All right, so you've made it to the gate. You're waiting for your time to board. What are the basic rules here? Simple, guys. Stay out of people's way and don't take up additional space that you don't need. So staying out of people's way. Don't throw your luggage around. Don't let your kids throw their luggage around and create obstacle courses. People need to be able to get around. And taking up space that, okay, I get it, you're sitting in a chair, but that, 75-year-old woman that doesn't look able-bodied, you are young and healthy. Could you stand up and give her your chair? Be considerate of others. Look around. Do you need to be standing up there at the front, you and 50 other people, all of a sudden, people that just simply have a question for the attendant can't even get up there, or they think you guys are all in line. Try to stay out of the way and try to give people space. Now, once they start boarding, the airlines, they love to divide us. Those in economy, they like to make us feel really small. Point being is they've got a system for doing this. And I get it. If you're a platinum diamond star, of course, you're going to be the first one on the plane unless you have special needs. And this is whenever I'm traveling with kids, younger kids especially, I always will just go up and make sure that they will allow me me to board earlier so that I can get my kids on, and this is just really makes things easy. If you are having a health issue, if you simply need assistance, never be afraid to ask for it. It just makes life easier for everybody. Now, gents, if you're enjoying today's video, do me a favor and smash that like button. By doing that, the magic YouTube algorithm is going to help more travelers actually find this video. And who knows, maybe people will start to be more courteous and nicer when they're flying. Now, as you're heading up to get checked in as you board, oftentimes you just need the boarding pass. Sometimes they do ask for the ID, so I usually have mine handy, especially if I'm traveling international or an airport I'm not familiar with. But simply having that boarding pass ready is key. Next up, make sure that you memorize your seat. So 6B, you know where 6B is going to be at, but it gets a little bit more confusing once it gets a little bit longer. 36J, not the easiest one to remember, because here's the thing, is once you get onto the airplane, a lot of times I get thrown onto the wrong side, I mess that up. Other times, I have sat in the wrong seat. So you want to make sure you keep that available, because you could find it that somebody says they're in your seat. You want to make sure that you are in the right row. It's not always easy. So, be open. Understand you may have to move slightly if you're in the wrong seat. Just be open to that. No one is looking to be mean. People just simply want to sit where they are assigned. But again, if you're in the right state of mind, you're understanding that, hey, everyone is just trying to get to the same location. We want to get there safely. Now, once you've taken your seat, a lot of people, they simply want to throw in their headsets and they want to zone out. I do think that you should keep them out, because first up, is somebody going to want to get in? Are you traveling alone? Is there space here? I've actually seen it where they've had to try to wake somebody up because they're already gone and they can't even get in. Other times, is there somebody that needs assistance? I've seen so many moms with kids that simply need help, and people aren't even, it's not that people are mean, it's just people aren't paying attention. If you're an able-bodied person, get up and help that person put their luggage away. Now, what about swapping seats? Family, friends want to sit together, especially families. I think this is always a great thing. You do want to make sure that the airline attendant knows what's going on so they can update the manifest if they need to balance things out. Sometimes the planes are not full and they want to make sure people are in the right places. So that is important. Let's talk about armrest rules. So the unspoken armrest rule is, if you are in the center, you get both armrest, because guess what? You can't go anywhere. You're between these two people and you simply get both of those armrests. If you're the window, hey, you can lean over on the window. If you've got the aisle, well, you've got the aisle and you can lean out a bit that way. Now, what if you're in between two people that do not know that rule? In fact, they're both pushing you into the center spot with nothing. I always like starting things off by having my arms there, and then other people get it that I am laying claim to these. But if they don't respect that, if they're pushing back, it may be something, hey, I'm here in the center, I don't really have much room. Do you mind if I have basically the armrest? And if they still don't give it to you, it may be something you want to speak to the attendant and maybe even look to move. And this takes me to one of the basic rules of flight etiquette, and that is to respect your limited space and to respect other people's limited space. We're all on this small airplane together. We've got to make do for the next few hours. So simply treat others with respect, and most likely you will be treated with respect as well. So that means don't try to stick your bag under in their foot area. Yes, they weren't there. You thought you were going to have these two seats all to yourself, so you stuck it under there. And guess what? You're going to have to take it out and remove it and put it under yours because you decided to bring that, and it's not their issue. Simply say, hey, do you mind if I keep this there? Most time, people are very nice, especially if it's not going to be in their way. Simply ask a lot of times. People don't seem to do that. And you will find that people are accommodating. They want other people to be comfortable. Now, me personally, I love sardines, I love tuna, I love hard-boiled eggs, I love salads with vinegar on them. But what do all those have in common? They smell, and they can really just off-put people, and they can fill a room. If you are packing a meal, pack something that does not have a strong smell. And I've talked with my wife about this because she did it one time, didn't even think. She just wanted to have meals for the kids. I'm like, wow, those really stink and they smell. I turned up all the air. I violated that rule of simply thinking about others. I get it, you're hungry. And that's why I recommend that you eat before getting on the plane, not when you're in that confined space. And sometimes, the air is not working and that smell really can make somebody sick. Now, what about alcohol? Especially international flights, it's free, or just regular flights and you want to pay for it. You want to have a few beers, a glass of wine. Well, in general, the airline attendants, they should make sure that you don't get out of hand. But if you can't handle your alcohol, if you've been having a tough day, if you have been frustrated, a lot of people think that alcohol is going to take the edge off. What it does is it just makes you looser. It just makes you more likely to do something that you shouldn't do. So be careful. In general, if you don't normally drink, if you don't handle your alcohol well, definitely don't be drinking on the flight. All right, so the plane has landed, you've reached your destination safely, you're going to be getting off the plane. But in what order are you going to get off the plane? In general, the unspoken rule is based off of seat order, and simply it's the easiest, quickest way to be able to file off. But a lot of people, they want to immediately rush to the front. And I've seen this actually on a number of international flights, especially over in Ukraine and parts of India, where people just rush to the front as soon as the plane hits the ground. It's still taxing, in general, they make everyone sit. But I get it. People want to get off. Some people have legitimate reasons. They want to catch their next flight. And that's where I think that really those are the people you should allow to be able to go up to the front. If they've got to catch their flight, the flight is landing 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour late, and they still think they can make that flight, then let those people, and if that is you, maybe talk to people as you're getting up, say, excuse me, I've got to catch my flight. Excuse me, I've got to catch my flight. People can hear this and people sympathize. Give them a reason. They're more likely to get out of the way. Just try not to be that person that is barging up to the front for no other reason that you simply just want to get out. All right, Jen, so what did I miss? What is it that people need to be doing when they're traveling that's just going to make it easier for all of us? Let me know down in the comments. All right, Jen, so what video to watch next? Watch me stuff 180 outfits into one bag. Is it possible? Just find out in this video right here. I'll tell you I do it, and how I do it may surprise you. So yeah, good video. Go check it out.